came all the way down to the Bay Area.
I did.
Just to do a house clearing.
That's correct.
My house is a mess. You can come clean it anytime you want to.
Yeah, so I came down to talk with this young couple and to do a house clearing. To me, what a house clearing is, it's someone has picked up on some kind of energy within the home that is disturbing to them. And it can be all kinds of things. It can be, I can explain a little bit if you like, the difference between how I view a spirit versus a ghost. So sometimes in a home, a ghost is, in my opinion, someone who's been on this planet, they've died, and for whatever reason they haven't made a full transition over to the other side. A spirit is someone who's died, has lived here, died, and has made the transition to the other side. Now, a ghost is more troublesome for most folks because a ghost is not necessarily anybody you know. It's somebody that may be connected to the home, it could be connected to energy around there, it could be all kinds of different things. So that tends to be a little bit more distressing. In this situation today, the primary thing was the only person left in the home, if you will, was actually a spirit, not a ghost. And the spirit was one of the grandmothers who was there. One of the things that people often experience, I've had different people call about, you mentioned the toddler at home. I think not uncommonly when there's a new baby in the house, that commonly, it's not that there's anything bad, but if I'm dead and I have a grandbaby, I'm going to pop in and take a look, okay? So I'm going to do that, and that's kind of when a lot of times that you pick up on. And usually they're so excited about it. You know, the babies are wonderful. Also with children, I believe that children can connect with folks on the other side very easily. And I think all children can do it. I don't think it's something especially unique to just a few kids. The biggest problem I see with folks when there's an entity or a ghost, if you will, in the home, most of the time what happens is that the person themselves gets freaked out about it. The thing that drives me insane about those haunting shows on television is that you'll see somebody there and they'll say, oh my God, they're killing me, oh my God, I can't believe it, and they're so freaking upset about it, and there's a lot of fear, and lo and behold, they've had 50 other people living in the apartment, they're also freaked out. So you've got this freaked out energy in the house, okay? And once you have that energy, I believe that if I'm a ghost and I like freaked out energy,
you feed off of it.
Then I'm going to reinforce that, and so, and also the other thing I believe to be true is that when people make contact with us, say even loved ones make contact with us, it's easiest for them to do that at night. And I don't know why, but if you're sleeping, it's particularly easy.
Sure.
Because I believe it has to do with the way our brain waves change or our ability to dream or whatever. So now what happens is, it's happened to me on occasion, if I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I feel like there's someone in the room, trust me, I'm going to be scared, okay? At least for the first moment. The problem is that that fear continues on, and so it feeds whatever that other energy is. Okay, so when that comes up, okay, part of it I also think is that when people themselves are a bit more sensitive, they have a tendency to have the ability to do that a little bit. What I do when I go into home, I chat with folks a few minutes, give them my spiel, a little bit on who I am, how I do my work, and then what I do is I just kind of focus in. And actually, I should take a step back. I do, even before I go to the house, I say prayers. For me personally, I say rosary before I go. Other people do, it doesn't have to be that, it can be whatever prayers that you do. I do that, and then I also kind of just put a protection around the home and kind of clear out the house a little bit before I get there. Then once I get there, I just sit down on the couch, focus in for a minute and see what I can pick up on. And in this particular time, I wasn't picking up on grandmother energy. I wasn't picking up on some of the energy that she told me had been there. I wasn't picking up on any of the other things that she had mentioned. That doesn't mean they weren't there.
Right.
Weren't there when I was there, or not that I could feel them or pick them up. So that's pretty much what we did. Kind of went around, and then I go through the home and pick up on different energies. I went into the baby's room. There was some concern about that area. The only thing in that baby's room was a grandmother who was thrilled to death that there was a grandbaby in there. So that was nice. I mean, and it was nice, kind of reassuring. And then how I also do the house clearing. For me personally, I don't like to sage inside a house, particularly if there's babies, because I'm a public health nurse, just can't do it. Okay. So what I do actually is I do it with rose water. So I just take some roses and I put in some water, and then I say some prayers over that, and then I kind of clear the house with the rose water. And then outside the house, I go around the house, and sometimes I'll sage outside In this case, there were some outbuildings, so I'd sage that. And then I do put salt all around the house. Why? I don't know. But other people did it and it seems to work. That's how come I do
I
it.
thought it was just for vampires.
I don't know.
And do you use kosher salt, or do you use like some fancy schmancy purple salt from the Tibetan Sea over in the Arctic?
I happen to use
Depends
the
on who
best.
the right time, and it depends on who the ghost is.
That's exactly right.
It's the Bay Area gourmet salt.
That's right. Who's ever salt they get off. That's it. Exactly. So that's kind of how I do it.
So that was it.
That was it.
Cool.
What are some of the things that you think cause someone not to pass over?
So sometimes people don't make that full crossing because they're fearful of what will happen when they get all the way over. That's what my belief is. And sometimes people really enjoy where they were.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Welcome, you guys.
Yeah, it was a really good interview, and it's a lot of good stuff.
Actually, if you don't mind, can I ask you a question too about an experience I had a few days ago?
Yeah, sure.
And I saw a figure appear through my doorway because my face of my bed faces the doorway, and I approached my feet, and it was kind of a shorter stature kind of girl. It looked like a girl's figure, and maybe I'm just associating that with movies, scary movies, because it's often like a little girl. But it approached me, and I felt this panic, and it came towards my foot, and it kind of stared at me for a while. And I knew this is something that I've experienced before, so I knew how to get out of it. Like I would kind of move my body and try to like reach for her and like try to make her go away. It took a lot of effort, and finally she went away. When I woke up, it didn't dissipate. Like the panic, the tension, the terror didn't dissipate after I was conscious, and it didn't for the rest of the night. So I couldn't go back to sleep. So I never had it so hard that the next few days I was still thinking about it. So I didn't sleep very much for the next 2 days. And the second day after, my roommate told me about her. She had the same thing, the same night. So she told me that she saw a blob on the ceiling, and she's on the floor above me, and she saw a blob, and it was giving her like this malicious, like terrorizing feeling, like it was approaching her. So both of our experiences from that thing was about the same, and she was equally terrified. And it's kind of curious that this happened while Tanya and I were talking about doing this documentary.
You're both sensitive, it sounds like.
We're very sensitive, I feel like, and no one else in our families are as sensitive as we are. So I feel like we're somehow connected on that same level.
Absolutely.
So, what are your thoughts about this whole thing?
Because I've had a lot of people that had the same issue that you're having. So what I've done is I made a little CD. It's 10 minutes long, really. And what it does is it helps you figure out how to close down. So, and I would absolutely do it before you go to bed, okay? And you might give her a copy of it too, so she could do it as well.
Okay.
And what it really does is that what happens, I think, is that people are a bit more sensitive. They have it's like they have the door open, okay? And the chakras, they don't close them down. And when you don't close them down, it's a little bit like, the old commercial, we'll leave the light on for you. Motel 6 or whatever. You're leaving the light on for folks, okay? And what we want to do is turn the light off.
Yeah.
And whoever that little girl was coming towards you, she can hear you, even if you're not opening your mouth.
Yeah.
So you tell her the same thing, hey, go home. This is not a good place for you. And really, and you say it in a way that's not, here's the tricky part, is you say it in what I call an assertive way, not an aggressive way.
Right.
So you assertively say,
Thanks for dropping by, but this is not the right place.
That's right.
So just send her a blessing
Yeah.
or whatever into
Right.
the light,
Yeah.
Right.